craft the lily armor. You also need like these lilies. Okay, someone's gone ahead and mined all the lily leaves, bro. Let's see if the ones are down here. Yeah, you need lily leaf to make the ectoplasm cloak, and you also need lily leaves to make the lily leaf robes. But someone's literally chopped every single one down in the server. So I'm gonna block someone in server hop real quick. All right, cool. Yeah, there's some. Seems to keep on killing things, bro. That's what I need to do, bro. I don't know. I'm tripping, bro. All right, so I decided on abilities that you can get for ulti as well.
Oh, beh. Spider.
Oh, now use quests from skip here unless anything interesting to craft inside of it, bro. Fuck, it was doing so much damage when it was in it, but now it's not doing anything. All right, if my shit gets too low, I'm gonna assist out, but I think it should be good, bro. Right? Right with in my I'm gonna just lie to you, bro. But yeah, this is still.
Mas cool. Oo nga, ano ba yung pet mo kanina? Tawa. Yeah. farm muna ako ng souls. Good your food yan. Ewan.
Okay, so welcome. I wanted to show you guys the not complete. This build's definitely not complete. As you can see, I only have one rune slot here, one rune slot here. I have a rat cave, which is nothing better right now. Elder boots, which I probably won't farm for since it has 3 rune slots, as you can see. My dialogue only has 1 rune slot.
Bastos. Uli. Antik. One. Oh, he's grinded souls again. Fuck you. Oh, yung sarap. Ayan.
Well,
Nangingilo? Baka sensitive ka. Basta ngilo, Sensodyne. May 99 na Sensodyne.
Plague Breath can be obtained in the sewers by killing the Rat King and then trading in the Rat King store. When it hits an enemy, it actually isn't the best for lower tier mobs, but if you're fighting bosses, a little bit more. Now, keep in mind, this is the current best build that I could think of, and in about a week, since the PvP update came out, there will be new armor sets in the armory that you can unlock, so that can make the mage build even greater later on. Like I said, this is as of right now. So before we get started, as always, if you guys have any questions or you want to leave a comment, leave it down below. And while you are down there, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because it's all free and it helps me at a ton. Now let's begin with the abilities and spells that we're going to be using with this build. So the first spell on town at waste shot, 20 silver, earth or wind. But with flamethrower, it is down, and as you hold it down, you'll drain mana consistently. It is great for posture, fire out of your hands, doing tons of fire damage consistently. It is great for posture. So flame pillar can be a, this one is a rare flamethrower. You gotta talk to the wizard, pay him 20 silver. But instead of being an uncommon rarity, this one is a rare, meaning that it's a little bit more difficult to get. But once you have it and you use the ability, wherever your mouse is, it will spawn a giant pillar of flames that does ticks of fire damage. So it's basically a long-range burst. For the third ability, you could either go with Soul Steal or, what I recommend, Plague Breath. Now, as you all know, Soul Steal is from the Warlock subclass, and you need that to get your souls. But if you already have enough souls at 75%, you could then get Plague Breath, which Plague Breath can be obtained in the sewers by killing the Rat King and then trading in the Rat King to the hobo for the scroll skill. And what Plague Breath does is that when you hold it down, it's very similar to Flamethrower. When it hits an enemy, it actually gives them poison. And poison takes percent HP from mobs. Now, Plague Breath isn't the best for lower tier mobs, but if you're fighting bosses like the Tree Ant or Spider Queen, it does an insane amount of damage, allowing you to get credit fairly quickly. Now, for the fourth ability, we have Plague of Rats. Plague of Rats can be obtained similarly to that of the Plague of Breath. You just gotta turn in the Rat King's head and then get the Plague of Rats scroll instead of the Plague Breath. And with the Plague of Rats, you hold down your ability and you summon 5 total rats costing 25 mana each. And with these rats, you can attack enemies and players, dealing around 12 to 16 damage per rat, and they are untargetable for the next 30 seconds, which is absolutely insane as a summon. For the fifth ability, we're gonna use Arcane Storm, dealing around 12 to 16 damage per rat, and they are untargetable for the next 30 seconds, which is absolutely insane as a summon. For the fifth ability, we're gonna use Arcane Storm. You can just get this by being level 40 as a warlock or sorcerer, and what it does is that it's very similar to that of Arrow Rain. It rains down magic bullets from the sky, dealing around 20 damage per. Now for my last 3 abilities, this is for the warlock subclass. I have Summon Fiend, Summon Imp, and Sacrifice. Summon Fiend and Summon Imp summons demons that are from hell. They do a ton of damage, and you've probably already seen them everywhere. And then of course, Sacrifice takes those summons back and retrieves you your souls. Because if you didn't know, Summon Imp costs 25% souls, and then Summon Fiend costs 75% souls. And then a side note, once you reach high enough level as a warlock, you could actually get Demonic Sacrifice, meaning that if you sacrifice, you'll get a 30-minute random buff going from 10% intellect and maybe even 2% HP back every 4 seconds. It is very overpowered. And then you can just get these passives normally. Conjure Food, Conjure Water, and Greater Intelligence. I recommend getting those just because Conjure Food gives you your HP back and allows you to regen mana. Conjure Water regens mana the fastest way. And then Greater Intelligence just increases your intelligence by another. Pet or companion, we're going to be using the Fairy. The Fairy at max level level gives us a total of 16% magic attack boost, which is absolutely insane when you have all that intellect scaling. And in order to get the fairy, you could get it from just wandering around in Ashenshire, or you could search up a video on all the fairy locations. And if you're lucky enough, you could even get a golden fairy, which gives you luck. Now, for the most important part of the video, we're gonna finally get into the armors, accessories, and weapons that we're using. So for the armor set, I currently have the arachnid hat, arachnid robes, and arachnid pants. You could create this by killing the spider queen and killing spiders to get the recipes needed for it. The spider carapace is from the spider queen or spider mother, however you want to call it. The spider eye and spider legs are from the baby spiders and adult spiders, and then scorched leaf, you can find that in hell. They look like lily pads, basically. If you want a more in-depth guide on how to get every single resource in the game, go check out my previous video on that. Now, each and every one of the armor pieces gives us a decent amount of intellect and spirit, a very low amount of armor, but with the arachnid robes, there's actually a special passive. You gain a 1% magic crit chance, which will be very useful for abilities like flamethrower, flame pillar, and arcane storm, because the more ticks we get, the higher chance we get of crit damage. Now, for our back accessory, we're going to be using the ectoplasmic cloak. You can get this at Lake Shire by killing the banshees and using the ectoplasm that you get from it. And what it does is that it gives you 35 armor, 12 intellect, and 4 spirit. For the bags, we're using the slime bag and lily leaf bag. Slime bag can be obtained through Sadie's quest at the very beginning town. And in leaf bag, you can just craft that. Now on to the more important stuff, which is going to be your staff and your magician's sash. Let's first begin with your magician's sash. You can obtain this by doing the husband quest, where you got to talk to this lady, you got to save her husband, you got to farm beastmen at their camps for a key to free him from his cage. And once you do that, you can talk back to the wife and you could get a recipe to create the magician's sash. And you'll find all the materials to create the magician's sash at Lakeshire. And what it does is that you can place this thing on your offhand, giving you an extra 15 intellect, 5 spirit, and 5 stamina. Now for the staff, we're going to be using the arachnid staff. Similarly to my armor, you could get this by just grinding the spider mother and the other types of spiders. In the ashwood log, you could get that in hell, similarly to the scorched leaf. But with the spider gem, it is a rare drop from the spider mother. But this is one of the best staffs you could get because it gives you 11 physical damage, 26 intellect, 4 spirit, 1% magic crit chance, and then a passive that gives you a chance to summon a pool of venom beneath the target's venom, where you keep an arcane storm, a lot of tick damage. And you can create this by mining silver. For a lantern, this gives us a 3% magic power buff. And for the lantern, we're going to be using the Iron Lantern. This that I recommend would probably be the Sorcerer's Ring, just giving you 10 more intellect, and you can buy this at the Wizard. The next ring is Malleus's Ring. This gives your fairy an increased mat, and you can buy this at the Wizard. The next ring is Malleus's Ring. This gives your fairy 23 ring, and you could get that by just turning in fairies from Malleus. Now for the third ring, we have the Caster's Ring. You could create this with Sapphire. It gives you 10% cast speed, allowing you to use abilities a lot more quicker. And finally, we have Piercing Magic Band. This Soulbound Ring gives you 10% magic pierce, allowing you to do more damage against those who have magic resistance. And in order to get it, you have to do the Spider Investigation quest, where you kill baby spiders, adult spiders, then eventually the Spider Mother. And now that isn't the last part of the video. The last part of the video is actually running through the best runes that you could obtain for each armor piece. So for your Magician's Sash, I recommend just putting as many intellect runes or spirit runes that you
Flamethrower isn't here. Common my ass. It ain't common. Let's go. Maya ko na hanapin ang peheri. Maya ko hanapin ang peheri. Hindi ko makita yan. Oo, 100% na lang kaya ito. Oo nga.